The future is always changing. Sometimes it changes for the better, and other times, well, it just gets plain worse. From time to time, there have been heroes who have predicted the future. Some of them used powers, and some of them were just smart enough to predict it using the tools they had access to. Either way, being able to predict the future is both a blessing and a curse. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I am your host, David Raff, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 superheroes who predicted the future. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd, where we bring you nerdy content every single day of the week. Alright my friends, let's get started. At number 10, we got JOR-EL. The father of Kal-El, aka Superman, JOR-EL is one of the most important characters in DC mythology. Not only did JOR-EL send his son to Earth, where he became one of the greatest superheroes of all time, but he was also the one that predicted the end of Krypton. He knew it was going to perish, but no one really listened to him. And, well, we all know how that turned out. Boom. But that doesn't take away from the fact that JOR-EL was able to figure it out, and because of that, he and his wife Laura were able to save their son. Number 9. Tony Stark, the MCU version. While technically he didn't predict it himself, he was able to take the information that was given to him, which, was a little vague, and figure out what was happening. During the events of Avengers Age of Ultron, while under the influence of Scarlet Witch's spell, Tony sees a very eerie future where the Avengers are all dead. Now, this sets him down a path of trying to prevent it at all costs. In Avengers Endgame, he mentioned the future to Steve and the team, saying he knew that they would lose, and, of course they did. And lots of people did die, but luckily that's not how it ended. They end up coming back and fixing almost everything, and Tony gives up his life to make sure that it happens. Number 8, Dr. Manhattan. So this one is very interesting. Dr. Manhattan is kind of his own thing. He's not good, he's not bad, he's just, himself. And basically, he knows everything. Past, present, future. But he doesn't prevent it, because to him it's already happening. And I know that's confusing, but let me try to explain. Okay. For example, in the Watchmen graphic novel, he knew the president would be shot, so when it showed up in the paper, he wasn't surprised. When asked why he didn't prevent it, he said, "I can't prevent the future. To me, it's already happening." Dr. Manhattan experiences his past, present, and future all at once, so that's why he can't really do anything about it. Number 7, Madam Web. Oh, the mysterious Madam Web. Over the years, she has shown countless times how she has seen all possible outcomes of any given future, usually always regarding the spider people of the Marvel Universe, which she refers to as the web of life, which is every outcome for any given choice a hero should potentially make. The second Madam Web, Julia, even managed to convince Peter Parker not to kill Kraven the Hunter. She knew it would send him down a path that, he could never come back from, because she had already seen that path, and it wasn't very pretty. Number 6, the Ancient One, MCU version. During the events of the 2016 film Doctor Strange and the 2019 film Avengers Endgame, the Ancient One used the Time Stone to accurately predict the future. The first was when she knew how she would eventually die. She had seen it and she knew it would happen. The second was when she knew Doctor Strange would become the best sorcerer of all time. She mentions that to Bruce Banner, and it's why she ends up giving him the Time Stone, because she knew Strange wouldn't have just given it away for no reason. Like, he wouldn't do that. Which leads to when Stephen Strange first shows up. The reason she was being so hard on him, by pushing him to his limits, to even kicking him out for a brief time, it was because she knew what he would become and how crucial he was for the future of the entire Marvel Universe. Number 5, Ulysses CAIN. He has the ability to predict the future, and was a crucial factor in the Second Civil War in the Marvel Universe. Basically, it was because one side believed that they should use this ability to stop criminals before they can even commit their crimes. The other side believed that, that was wrong, and that brought us to Civil War II. Now, during this event, he has trouble controlling his powers, but predicts multiple futures. One where he foretold of a celestial being destroying the Earth, and the other where he had a vision of Thanos attacking a Project Pegasus facility to steal the Cosmic Cube. Both of which were stopped, but they would have come true if he didn't step in and say anything. Number 4, Norman McCay. Norman comes from one of the greatest Elseworld stories ever written, Kingdom Come. Norman, a pastor who ends up inheriting the ability of his friend, Wesley Dodds, the former Sandman. While Wesley was in the hospital, he kept going on about these visions he was having of an apocalyptic future. Norman believed he was just seeing things and that it wasn't real. But when Norman ended up inheriting the abilities of Sandman, he now sees this apocalyptic prophecy of the future that Wesley wouldn't stop going on about. He's later contacted by the Spectre, who explains that he must help prevent the future. Also, if you haven't read this comic, guys, do yourself a favor and read it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Number 3, the Monitor. Also known as Bar-Novu, the Monitor hails from DC and has predicted the future both in comics and during his live-action appearances. He's most known for his role during Crisis on Infinite Earths in the comics, but more recently, the Arrowverse crossover. He knew the crisis was coming and decided to start preparing different Earths in the multiverse by testing its heroes. He did this by using the Book of Destiny. It was pretty extreme since he essentially destroyed Earth 90, that's the home of the Flash from the 90s TV show, but he was doing what he thought was right, and at the end of the day, the heroes did end up coming together to stop the Anti-Monitor. Number 2, the Spectre. Now, the Spectre, who I mentioned earlier, has been a title for multiple people throughout the years. The Spectre is one of the most powerful beings in the entire DC universe. He is basically the embodiment of God's vengeance. He needs a human host, though, to operate on Earth, and he has had multiple hosts throughout the years, the most famous being Jim Corrigan. Now, the Spectre has seen multiple futures. He can't always intervene, though. But one of the more recent ones was actually during a live-action appearance of his during the Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Jim Corrigan showed up and bestowed his power to Oliver Queen, saying that Oliver would be the one to save the entire universe. Oliver then took the power and went on, and yes, he did end up saving the universe by using his powers to jumpstart a brand new multiverse, which by doing so, ended up killing him. Though the Spectre is a very powerful being, I am willing to bet that even though Oliver is gone, the powers will live on in a new host. Or who knows, maybe Oliver will come back as the Spectre. Number 1, Doctor Strange, the MCU version. During the events of Avengers Infinity War, Dr. Stephen Strange used the Time Stone to accurately predict the future. He did see over 14 million possible futures, but he saw the one where they would win, and it ended up happening. He knew that the Avengers would eventually come back together, go back in time to the previous moments in their past, get the stones, and make their own gauntlet, and bring everyone back. Also, he knew that amazing final battle was coming up with every hero from the MCU teaming up to take on Thanos and his army. Which, come on, that is probably the coolest scene in comic book movie history. So, we gotta thank for that. Alright, there you have it, guys, the top 10 superheroes who predicted the future. What does your list look like? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am your host, David Raff, and thank you so much for watching.